Hello, my bibblebonksquonculi, and welcome back to the OSIEZONE. A warm welcome back, actually, because where have I been? Because I went AWOL for like over a month. Because guess what, guys? I was moving, and look at where we are now. Like it's a new room, it's a new chapter, it's a new era. Moving was a long process, and I'm filming this on my bed because my walls are so bland that I can't stand to film at my desk. And having nothing on my walls is actually making me go a little bit insane, but I have this subconscious fear, which I think is, it goes much deeper, than the surface level, but I'm afraid to hang things up because I'm scared that once I put them there, then they're going to be there forever. And I won't be able to take them down, and I won't be able to rearrange them if I want to, or I just won't have the energy to rearrange them if I want to, and I will be resistant to change. Then I'll have to deal with change. And girl, maybe it's just my neurodivergency, and I've always been weird about decisions and things like that. I'm just kind of a weird, I don't know. But, I really want to hang stuff up, and I have a lot of posters, but I also just haven't had any time, and I haven't had any time to sit down with you guys and yap my heart out like I usually do. But I'm happy to be back. Hug life. So yeah, that's where I've been. I'm gonna give you a little life update. Moving was difficult because it was very sudden. And I didn't get to pack until literally a few days before we moved out, because I was occupied with school and I was occupied with a show that I played. Actually, I played a really awesome show at this music studio, and then literally the day after, it was time to move and I had to pack. But thankfully, and this is why I'm so grateful for the community I've cultivated largely through my community college experience, but I was able to have 13 awesome people help me move, and I just am so grateful to have so many friends, and that's what life is for. So I was busy fostering community, girl. I was busy fostering community, moving, helping my family, doing all this stuff, getting settled, and just letting myself enjoy life, which is something that I am not super good at. I get a lot, well, I don't want to affirm that, but I get a lot of opportunities to do things that spark joy in life, and I do a lot of joyful things, but I'm not always present while I'm doing these things. I'm not always, fully there and absorbed in the moment. I'm usually thinking about what I can do next to, I don't know, improve my market value or something like that. Be more productive, be a higher output human being. And yeah, so I was doing school and I was moving, and I was enjoying life and enjoying spring and sitting outside. My new house, it's a lot easier for me to get back into my backyard. My old house, I don't know what kind of mental block there was there, but there wasn't really a back door, so you had to go around the front to get to the back. And but this place I'm in has really good outside place, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's done wonders, because I've been vitamin D deficient for a few years, so. And I'm getting a lot tanner. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna put the microphone down for a second, and I'm gonna show you guys my watch tan. I don't know if you can see the difference in skin tone there, but oh my god. I used to get a lot darker when I was younger, I think because I was actually spending time outside. And so I just really have been feeling very in touch with nature and in touch with my island girl moment. And so yeah, it's been good. And going into my first subject that I really want to talk about is trying to fix my relationship with productivity and creativity, because the month that I was moving for, and this is the thing, I preach, my advice is always be graceful with yourself, let yourself rest, let yourself mess up, because you can count on yourself to get back up again if you've done it this far in your life, because you have made it this far in your life, and you need to give yourself grace, because there must be an ebb in order for there to be a flow. And I say all this to everybody else, and then when it comes to me, it's no. Why would I let you sit down? Why would I let you chill? You need to constantly be going. You need to do it and do it and do it and do it. And part of it is that I know how much I'm capable of as a human. I know that if I push myself, I can get great results. And the other part is like, I'm not just results. I'm not a results factory. I'm a human, and I also have my own ebb and flow. So the month of moving was hard for me because I'm an overachiever. You know, I wanted to do the move very perfectly. I wanted to execute everything very perfectly. I want to be there for everyone. But I also I have to get perfect grades. I have to like show up for school like every day. And I was doing all that, and hey man, I made it through successfully. The move went well. My grades are pretty perfect. But on top of all that, I was like, oh, and I have to make videos. I have to keep making videos. I don't know, a lot of you don't know this, but like I'm from TikTok. Or that's where I started having an audience, was on TikTok. And that's also like something I do for money. And well, I'm not just doing it for money, but I am lucky enough to be able to do something I'm passionate about and make some money off of it. But and also I just like consistency, so I was like, okay, make a video every single day, and I was also doing that, but I tried to let myself rest as much as I could. And it wasn't even rest, it was like putting work off so that I could do other work. And even that, it's just when you're a multifaceted person and you have so many things you're passionate about and that you want to do well at, it's hard to do all of them, and it's also hard to not do all of them. So there's that balance between, you know, you can push yourself, you know you're capable of this, and why do I always have to be pushing myself to 200%, you know? And what can I eliminate that I don't need to be doing so that I can focus on the things that make me simultaneously the most joyful and have the biggest benefit for my life and allowing me to live the lifestyle that I want to live. So I'm trying to fix my relationship with productivity and creativity, and I'm trying to listen more intuitively to moments where I want to relax and have fun, because the reason anyone does this much work, the reason that anyone works this hard and pushes themselves this hard, is so that we can live a life where we are allowed to relax, and we're going to have these joyful moments with people we love, where we're spending time with them and eating good food and watching TV shows that we enjoy together, and like talking about life and experiencing nature and life and doing fun stuff together. But if your workload gets to the point where you are consistently putting off time with the people you love and saying no to those experiences that are meant to make you have fun and feel more enriched in life, if you keep putting those experiences off because, no, I just need to lock in harder, I just need to work harder, that defeats the whole point. And I've realized, no, I have these moments that I think I have to work so hard for. Oh, work hard so you can pay your bills, so you can be financially stable, so you can do this and that, and you can be successful, so that you can hang out with the people you love. When I already have the opportunity to hang out with the people I love, I already have that opportunity. I already have exactly what the end goal of life is. The whole point, I almost forgot this was the whole point. The whole point of life is to do something that I already have access to. So why would I say no to doing that just so I can go work, so I can get more stuff one day? BS. And of course, you know, you have to give yourself grace when you fall into that mentality too, because we've all been like brainwashed since birth to think that we are things, and life is just about things. But so yeah, basically letting myself slack off, but not even slack off. Like, what is all this language around it, you know? If you're not working, you're slacking off, like you're being lazy. Letting myself experience joyful moments outside of my creative output and my work, and knowing that I am worthy as I am just because I am alive, and you are worthy as you are just because you are alive, and just because your soul came to this earth for a purpose. Your only real job on this earth is to think about that purpose and what you want to do to help yourself and others. And I've figured that out. And so it's finding the balance that's difficult. But yeah, I've been having fun, okay? And I've been hanging out, and I've been feeling loved, and I've been nurturing my inner child, and I've been being silly, and I've been eating good food, and I've been going on these long walks down to the water and just sitting and looking out. And soon I'm going to unpack. I'm hoping to make kind of a video about my moving in process on my camcorder. And, you know, I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I'm trying to like document the process a little bit, just because like I want to do more lifestyle type of videos where I'm just showing you guys my life, because not to flex, but I do think I live like a really awesome life. And I'm pretty good at living, or I have a lot of practice. So, and that's the thing, is I'm young, I don't even have that much practice. And actually we're going to get into that too, because that's something that's really been weighing on me. And I've been thinking about it a lot, but I think I live a fun life, and I'd love to share it. Not to be like, oh, flex, I have this lit life, like, but it's always helped me to, and inspired me to see other people living their lives. Like, that's the whole point of vlogging, excuse me, and like, I know people enjoy vlogs, so I feel like I could do it. I don't know. And also I want it's funny, I've also been realizing recently, and I am also going to talk about this more, but I don't I try to focus, the whole thing with like the purpose of your life and stuff, I try to focus mostly on telling people advice, or giving, or saying things that I think is going to help other people. And it's also hard for me to believe that just being myself and showing my life could be helpful to other people. But I'm realizing now, because I watch people all the time that are just showing their lives, and I find it very helpful. I'm realizing now that I can do that. I'm not like exempt from that. And also, because I'm so focused on kind of talking about other people, I want to talk about other people's lives, I want to help other people with their lives, I don't promote my own creativity enough, and there's a lot more I could be doing. My whole plan, like my grandmaster like plan the whole time, like I knew that I could like be a content creator and do that, but like ultimately what it comes down to for me personally is I want to do music, and I've wanted to do music since I was born, and I have been doing music since I was born, and I think I'm not promoting myself enough. Oh my god. And I'm not putting enough effort into that, because my best friend is calling me, you guys. I have to call her back after this. I'm not putting enough effort into that because it's just hard, I guess, to believe in yourself. And even for me, like I get on here and I say so much every single day, and it's just hard to be like, hey guys, look at my art, don't you care about my art? And that's always the problem that I've had with it, is like, oh, why do I think that I'm so awesome that everyone should look at me doing my stuff? But also, people don't care about you in the best way possible. Like, the worst thing that somebody's gonna do if you are putting yourself out there is have like a negative thought or make a hate comment. And who are those people? Those people are miserable, and they're obviously not making any art with their time. And that's just like, girl, don't listen to that voice. That's a voice that you must get past. And it's the people who are able to get past that voice and really promote themselves and do the thing that they want to do that actually succeed. So I was saying, I have a lot of experience being alive. I would like to share it. But I don't have that much experience because I'm young. And this is something I've always gone through as a young person, and I'm wondering what age I will be when I start giving myself credit for anything I do. I would, this is where it starts to be hard to talk about, because I would say, and many others would say, because I've been told this for much of my life, that I am wise beyond my years, or that I am smart, and I am like, I don't know, I'm mature, or I think about things rationally, and I like, you know, I have a good head on my shoulders. Good head. See, this is, I hope I still make jokes like that when I'm old. I better. But since I'm young, and since I like to observe the preconceived notions that society has about itself, and I like to listen to my elders. That's a very, like, in connecting to my ancestry and trying to live by, like, my ancestors, it's like, you honor your elders, you honor what they say to you, and that's a value that was taught to me. So I of course I want to learn from the people who have been alive longer than me and who have experienced more shifts in the world than I have. But how do I do that without completely discrediting my own thoughts and my own experience as a young person? Because as a young person, I go about my life, and everything I do I write off a lot of my own personal feelings as, oh, girl, you're just young. Girl, you're just young. Because that's generally what older people will say. It's just like, you'll understand when you're in your 30s. Like, or you'll understand when you turn 18. Or you'll understand one day you'll understand. Life is constant understanding. I don't think that you ever stop understanding. But having this mentality of like, I don't know enough yet. I don't know enough yet. I don't know enough yet. I feel like it's been a safety. It's been a good, safe mechanism. You know, you don't want to jump too far ahead, you know? I don't want to be one of those people that, like, I don't want to be naive. I'm afraid of being naive. I'm afraid of being a young, dumb person, and I'm afraid of making a decision that would, decisions that are going to put me back when I get further into life. Things like being a super party girl, or, like, I don't know. Like, and so it's hard to trust yourself when you're a smart young person, or when you're an overly self-aware young person, because I believe my feelings. I want to believe that I'm as smart as people tell me I am, and I do believe that I can think. Oh God, do I believe that? I do believe that I know what I'm talking about sometimes, but I'm also always, but I only believe that because I also know that I am open to being wrong and to being proven wrong and to changing my opinions at any time. And so far in life, I don't have any regrets. Things usually pan out in a way that I find very aligned and blessed almost. I feel blessed in this life. But so yeah, you feel wise beyond your years, but you don't want to get too confident in that fact, because at the end of the day, you're still young, and you know, young people always think they know everything. You young people, you always think they know everything, and that ends up being the downfall. So when do I get to trust myself? And also, when should I be berating myself? Because I don't think that you should berate yourself and be like, oh my God, like, you stupid young person. But I also think that things like shame very occasionally have a place. They have a reason behind them. And, yeah, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. But what is dumb? Of course I'm going to be dumb. I'm 20 years old. And am I allowed to be a little dumb? Please? And so, trying to make decisions for your future self, but then it's also like the future doesn't exist yet and you need to live in the present. I don't know what to do. Okay? And that leads into doubting my own love experiences too. I think I've always been a romantic. It's funny because depending on who I'm obsessed with, at whatever point in my life, I will ask myself the question, like, do I why am I so obsessed with this person? Why do I only think about this person? Why do I only write music about or write poetry about this person? When will I not be obsessed with this person, with this love, whatever? But there's never been a point when I wasn't obsessed with love. It's just, what form is that love taking? Who am I projecting that love onto at the current moment? And it used to be fictional characters. I was very big into fandom culture growing up. Like, everything for me has always been about my OTP. It's always been about my ships. I grew up, like, fan fiction was like my Bible. And it was through that, and then it started being through my own romantic experiences when I started really exploring that, and, when I grew up a little bit. But I've always been a lover, and I've always been in love with something, whether it's an idea or fictional characters or a person, or the idea of a person. I've always been really into it. But there's this doubt that comes with young love as well. It's just like, it's never going to work out. You're not going to love this person for that long. Like, you're too young. You should be single. You should be figuring out who you are. You should be doing this, that, and the third. And I agree with that at any stage of your life. Actually, you change as a person. You change as a person. And, for me, the most, like, lifetime partnerships I've felt have been, like, friendships, best friendships, because love is a feeling, but it's also a verb, and it's also more important to have the same set of values as somebody than it is to just like be in love with them, because there's so many questions you can ask as to, oh, what is love? What is love? What does that mean? And experiencing love a bunch in and I'm only 20, and I just feel like I've experienced so much love, again, like through all these mediums, whether it's in my own personal relationships or from the observing of other people's relationships, and like romance books, whatever. I just feel like I've experienced a lot of thought about love. And there's also the whole unpacking of like, do I believe in true love? Do I believe in lifelong love? Do I believe in marriage? Do I believe in like partnership long term? Do I believe in settling down and having a family and having kids? Because there's moments when I've felt all of these things, and there's moments when I've felt a complete disdain for all of these things as well. And once again, I'm only 20. So how do I trust myself when I fall in love with somebody? How am I supposed to let myself fall in love with somebody? And yes, it is true that it's through detachment that you're able to do that. I think it's very important to have a boundary. Like, I've made up my mind that I don't want to start a family until like at earliest like 27. Like, I'd prefer to do all that in my 30s because I have a lot I want to do with my life. And it also depends on like if the right person is around or who you like. It's just, there's like boundaries like that, but it's also like, it's good to have a mental boundary with yourself of like, you're allowed to fantasize, and you're allowed to dream of a future with somebody, and you're allowed to be in love. But there's no part of me in any romantic relationship I've been in that has fully expected and put the pressure on that relationship to lead to a lifelong partnership or a marriage or something like that. It's a great fun thing to fantasize about, the same way I would fantasize about my OTP having like a family. Like, read fan fiction about it, girl. Like, make a fantasy about it, girl. But I think it's way more important to be present, to let the current love teach you the lessons that it's supposed to. And once you have that boundary with yourself of like, this is when I would want to do this type of serious commitment, this is the requirement I would need to have met in order for somebody to be in my life for this long, or like, etc., etc. I think it's way more important to let yourself play in that sandbox, but you got to build the sandbox for yourself, and you have to make the parameters for yourself so that you can feel safe playing in that. And it's funny also because, I have anxiety. It's like, it's hard to be in a relationship because I have a fear of things lasting forever. Like I was talking about putting posters on the wall. Am I never going to be able to take that down? Will I ever rearrange it if it needs rearranging? And it's a lack of trust in yourself too. Just like, if I am so comfortable with somebody, what if I'm unhappy with somebody one day and I can't bring myself to leave because I'm scared, or because I'm a people pleaser, or because like I'm too comfortable? There's all these fears that go into it. But at the end of the day, just like everything else in life, nothing is certain. So there's nothing is certain, and there's fate and how it leads love, and there's being present for the lessons and just trying to enjoy it for as long as it's enjoyable for all people involved in the relationship. But there is also the effort that you put in. There is also the conscious choices that you make every day when you love someone, or when you want to love someone, or when you love yourself, that build that trust over time. It is a goal that people have to be together long term. It is a goal that people have to have a family one day. It is a goal that people have that must be worked towards. And then there's the balance of like, how much work are you gonna do? How much should it feel like work? But there's so many things. There's so many things, and it's just so much. It's so much, and I'm obsessed with it, dude. I'm obsessed with it. The whole reason I got my following and what I do on here is I just talk about relationships. I'm 20. I doubt myself all the time. I've been a bad partner. I've been a good partner. And I just love being a partner, whether it's to myself or somebody else, or imagining myself as a partner in a fan fiction, a fictional character, bro. But I just love love, and I love what it teaches me about myself. And I love that there's parts of myself. There are parts of yourself that you can only access when you are single, and there are parts of yourself you can only access when you're in a couple. Of course, these have exceptions. I wouldn't say you can only access certain parts of yourself, but like, it's easier to access certain parts of yourself when you're in a relationship. For me, when I'm in a relationship, it's way easier for me to access like kind of my crybaby, like really comfortable, like emotional side, because it's very rare that in my regular life I just feel like a sad sack of nothing, and or not nothing, but just like a sad little baby, you know. And I'm not like fiending to go like cry in somebody's arms all the time, but when I'm met with the deep introspection of my own feelings through a relationship, or I have somebody who makes me feel comfortable enough that I could cry in front of them about all my issues and not feel like it's some big deal, like, oh my god, Rosie's crying, oh my god, Rosie's crying. If I'm with someone who truly loves me and it's in a romantic way, for some, like, for obvious reasons, I'm more likely to be able to let go and cry and let myself be held by somebody, let myself be weak, let myself be vulnerable. And sure, I do that by myself when I need to, but like, honestly, when I'm with myself, like, I'm like pretty chill most of the time. I do love a good cry, but it just feels, I don't know, you get the dramatic kind of effect on the inside without it just being this big deal, you know? Cause like, I don't know, like, I feel like if I were to go do the same thing to one of my friends and just break down crying in front of my friends, like, it would be like a moment. Like, it would be like a moment. It would be like, oh my god, like, this is a moment. Like, she's crying, it's a moment. But if it's with someone that you, like, romantically love, it's like, bro, you've seen me naked, and now you're gonna see me naked on the inside. You're gonna see me, like, be vulnerable, and, like, it just kind of goes, it's not as big of a deal, and I like that, and that's an emotional comfort I need. So it's easier for me to access my, like, crybaby side and my inner child side. And also when I'm in a relationship, it's easier for me to chill the hell out first, because for some reason I have problems relaxing on my own. But when it's for the sake of furthering a relationship and spending quality time with someone, oh my god, I'm so there. I already did all the work I need to do, you know, we have the whole day. That's how I am in a relationship. That being said, like, I'm not trying to be like, I can only do that stuff when I'm in a relationship, but it's harder to access by myself. Things are so much easier to do. Some things are so much easier to do when like, it's for the sake of somebody that you love. Because self-love is a whole thing within itself, and it's something I try to practice every day. Of course, I give myself time and space to feel my emotions and to cry and to process them on my own. Of course, I give myself playful time. Of course, I try to give myself rest time, but these are all things that take such intentionality on my behalf. But loving somebody else makes it feel, it just happens. It just happens. Like, the chain of events line up and I'm able to have that emotional release, or the chain of events line up and I'm able to just, like, relax for a full day. And that's why I'm thankful to have relationships as a medium of, you know, knowing myself further, and also letting myself experience the joy of loving somebody else. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then there's parts of myself that I feel like I can only really access when I'm single, like that part that's like a hoe, but I'm not, I don't know. I have really weird opinions about hoeing. It's not for me. I don't think it's for me. And, like, I need to talk about this, okay? I need to talk about this. I've always wanted to be a hoe, and, like, I don't want to get on here and, like, talk about like, I don't want to be like hookup culture, but I feel like I got to have, like, really spiritual romantic connections, and, like, I'm a lover, and they say that gets you screwed over in life, because the world is so cynical. It's like, oh, don't be a romantic, especially not for this type of person. Don't do this. Don't sacrifice. You're a young lady. You need to develop your full potential. And this is true. I spent a long time in my life just dedicating myself to love, and I ended up in some really difficult situations, because at the end of the day, when I got to my wit's end, I truly knew in my heart, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot be in relationships anymore, and I need to be alone for a while. And being alone, I mean, it's absolutely necessary. There's parts of myself I can only access when I'm single, or that it's easier to access when I'm single. Like, that part of me that just is so motivated and locks in all the time and is, like, really focused on my goals. Like, everything I've built online with my online community with you guys has been because I locked in, and I was like, no, I need to be single, bro. And you know what's funny? Like I said, I've always been fixated on love, whether or not I have somebody in my life. You know what's funny? The whole time that I was single, and that like the whole time that it was happening, or just the phases in which I wasn't, it was still all about love. It was still all about me building my career, basically just talking about relationships. Like the whole time that I was not, because there's a difference, I think, between being single and like dating around. And when I say like I was single, like I didn't talk to anyone really, or like I talked to people, like I would go on like casual like dates like sometimes, but I was not, dude, like I was celibate for a whole year and I got so much done. And now I feel like I'm able to approach romance in a way that's like legit, in a way that I'm never going to let myself falter again. And I just wanted to talk about that. It's not possible to go back to an old version of yourself. It's not possible, I've realized, for me to make the same mistakes that I've made in the past because I took this time for myself. And so that's why I say, whether or not, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, whether you're at some weird in-between point, all of it has a purpose. And there are certain parts of life that are going to be easier no matter what. And it's really just about picking what you want. And a lot of us want love and a lot of us don't. And that's a whole thing to unpack, because it's like, do you actually not want love, or do you just believe you can't have it? Or do you have a messed up image of what love is? Because love is something that you have to create for yourself. What do you want love to look like in your life? Because a lot of us weren't shown a healthy example of love growing up. Like, what is it to you? What would be your ideal situation? And you're allowed to create that. You don't have to listen to everybody else and their definitions of like what love should look like. You don't have to, as long as you are truly happy and getting to know yourself. That is like the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself. And I really try to make that statement in every piece of advice I give and every like thing I say. I really try to hammer it home that like, if you don't resonate with if you don't want to believe any of the stuff that you're seeing on the internet, you don't have to. You don't have to. But you should always listen to yourself, but you should also listen to what the advice that you get from the internet is triggering in you. And you should really unpack it and be a conscious consumer, because most of the time it's easier to just scroll to the next video than confront that difficult thing that's a piece of advice from the internet like brought up in you, or a piece of advice from real life. I think it's really interesting how we internalize advice, and I think that it's I don't know, it's just really interesting. And I think there's very conscious ways to do it. And I think a lot of the world seems to be very black and white a lot, and this is also like something that you face as a content creator, as a content consumer. Like, it has to be black and white, or it's made that way because, you know, we need to clickbait people, I guess. But guys, there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of area of all different colors, actually, for you to explore and figure out how you feel about things. And it's just really not as cookie cutter. And honestly, language is, as much as I love language and I talk all the time, language is not a it's a limiter, I think, on the way that we express ourselves. And constantly trying to label everything that you're experiencing is going to make you experience it less. It's going to leave you less attuned to the experience that you're having. And I say this as someone that tries to label everything. It's like, girl, live a little. I don't know. Thank you. Like, I really like to make funny noises when I'm drinking. So I don't even know what I've been talking about for the last 30 minutes. That was like a lot. But yeah, we covered that. Trying to fix your relationship with productivity and creativity, doubting yourself and being young, and then doubting love because you're young. And that's a lot of it is just skepticism. Everything is just what we learn in childhood. And the fear of forever is a real thing, but honestly, just do what feels right for you moment to moment. And you're not evil for loving someone. You're not evil for being young and making maybe a few short-sighted decisions, But just think about yourself, and think about where each action is going to take you, because everything that you are living right now, everything anyone is living right now it's from an accumulation of the steps that they've taken over the course of their life, and the things that they've done. I'm only able to live the way I live right now because 3 years ago I decided I was gonna meditate every day, and or go on a walk, or I decided I was gonna do the dishes at this time, or I decided and now because of that stuff I know how to hold myself accountable and to have a structure in my life, and it really is just all the compound karma of your decisions along the road, you know what I mean? But oh my jeebers creepers, yeah, that's I think that's my big subject I really wanted to cover in this episode. And now I'm gonna get into a little bit of my personal, not personal, but what's going on in my life is I just finished my first and probably only semester of college. I don't know, I wanted to try it out and see, if I liked it, because I wanted structure. I like the idea of I have to be here at this time, this often. And I only took 2 classes. I took a dance class and I took a music production class, and I actually really enjoyed both of them. And I enjoy the socialization that comes from just being around people by proxy, by proximity socialization, because my whole life, all of my socialization has been conscious. I want to hang out with this person, let's make that happen. But I like when it's just oh, what's up? Good to see you again, because we're just both here, because we just both go here. And that's never I like that, and it allows you to be friends with more different types of people and stuff. So I met a lot of really cool people, and that was really awesome, and I just enjoy participating in things. I've always wanted to be a better music producer. I've always been really down on myself. I've been producing music for 5 years, but I never went and got any real technical formal training in it. So I took a Logic Pro class, and it was just really fun to actually have to get in there. And now I know how to do a side chain. I know how to use a side chain. I know about compression, which is just stuff that before I wouldn't have given. It's just too boring for me to learn about, but it's actually not boring once you start actually learning about it. I just knew what I needed. I knew that I needed to go somewhere and be obliged to do it. It had to be obligatory for me to go somewhere, sit your ass down, and learn about this thing that you've kind of put off learning about. And it was really fun and awesome. But then I had to move, and all this, there was just so much going on, and I got a lot more opportunities, and honestly, my social life got a lot fuller, and my life just got a lot fuller. And I realized at college that I was okay, people are here because they are trying to, or a lot of them, or at least the reasoning would be for me, I'm going here because I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to achieve something. I know I don't need a degree. That's not really what I was going for there. But people go there because they're trying to get opportunities, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do, right? That's what it felt like. I already know what I want to do. I'm already doing what I want to do. I already have opportunities. So many opportunities that I don't really have time to go to school, because I could be using the skills I already have to execute ideas I already have that are already lucrative for me. And not to be yeah, I'm just too cool for school, but I kind of, I kind of am. And I didn't go to school growing up. I was unschooled. And I should make a whole video or series about that, because people just don't even know what to say or think when I'm yep, never did that. I did school until 3rd grade, and then my mom was like, this place is evil. And I agree with her. And also another reason people, how are you smart? What do you do? How are you smart? Because I lived. Oh my God, I can't believe everyone's so brainwashed into thinking that in order to learn anything or be a human being, that you have to sit in a fluorescent classroom for 6 hours a day for your entire formative years. Oh, that's totally healthy for child psychology. Don't even let them play. Don't let the kids play or talk. Sit down, shut up, and look at this paper. I hate it. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Anyway, I liked school. I actually liked going in college. I liked college. who knows if I'll go back, but I would rather focus on music and actually promote myself and actually do all the things that I know I'm meant to do. And so now that I'm out of school and I finished finals, I'm here, I'm able to make videos again. And I did my makeup all nice today. I don't know, I'm feeling pretty chill, man. I'm feeling pretty chill. Life's pretty good. And I just want to eat food, and I just want to live life, and I just want to love, and I just want to sit in the sunshine. And maybe the world is ending and things are going really crap, so might as well live it up and hug my loved ones and do absolutely everything I can for the world. Yeah, I think that's gonna, like, honestly, like, wrap it up. I'm so excited for summertime, and I'm so excited to keep making videos, and there's big things coming. There's some cool things coming this summer. Look out. I'm making an EP. I'm working on it. My 21st birthday is next month. Yeah, so y'all don't worry about me. I'm doing just fine. And I love you guys, and I wish you all amazing luck in, I don't know, the beginning of your summers. Like, hags, have a good summer, and I will see you guys hopefully, like, in a week or two. Okay. Ozzy. Ozzy. Ozzy.